Hey, buddy, can you show me the way to the tadpoles? Hey, it's me, Ciscoe Morris. Here's what's coming up on Gardening with Ciscoe. We'll show you how to build a do-it-yourself water feature. Compare locally made compost to learn the 3 ways to tell if your compost is the best it can be. Got asparagus? We've got a bunch of ways to cook it up. Learn how to plant lily bulbs for maximum bloom. All this in a Northwest Native Plant Nursery too. Coming up right now on Gardening with Ciscoe. Ciscoe Morris.
And I'm Meeghan Black. Welcome to Gardening with Ciscoe. We're at Tadpole Haven Native Plants in Woodinville. Don't you love it here?
I don't even feel like I'm in a nursery.
No.
I feel like I'm out for a walk in the woods.
It's lovely.
And you know, they specialize in native plants here. You can't go wrong with natives, you know. They're environmentally friendly as you can get. They're so easy to take care of. It's unbelievable. And they're beautiful. How do you beat that?
You don't have to water them, too, because they're natives, right?
That's good for you.
Good for me. Another thing that is a surefire bet in your garden is a water feature. I just love the sound of one, don't you? It is pretty easy to put in. In fact, this guy helped me put one in my backyard a few years ago, and she's been working fine ever since.
I have been waiting until my daughter got a little bit older to get a water feature so that there was no threat with her in water, but I found the cutest little fountain.
Oh, I love
He fills up
this.
with water and he tips over into the bucket. Isn't that
is
cute?
So cool.
And it's perfect for a smaller sized backyard.
Yeah.
Everything, it came with its own pump, with its own tubing, and it was half off on clearance. So
Oh, boy.
I'm like, I'm in. Now, the question is, how do we get it and what's the best way to put it in the ground? They told me to put it on some concrete slabs.
Well, you know, because they settle. I think it'll look a little nicer and more natural if we dig it in a little bit.
Okay,
Meeghan.
so
Yeah.
don't do it. He said it might be uneven.
Well, you know what it'll do? It'll settle now and then. You'll be out here probably, saying, "Oh, that doggone Ciscoe," because you'll have to.
It looks nice, but it's not level. Is that it?
The hard part is getting them level.
So kind of
But
just.
we've got a level to use, and that'll help us a lot, Meeghan. So. Yeah, and one thing we're doing here, I want everybody to see, is we're not putting this underneath any trees or anything, because otherwise you're cleaning the fountain all the time,
Okay.
like I do at my house.
Yeah. Is that too deep or is that?
No, I think that'll be really neat.
Can I see that level?
Yeah, here you go, Meeghan.
Okay. Let me just kind of gander. Oh, that's not real level anyway, is it?
We can actually put soil back, because...
You think it's too deep?
Yeah, maybe, you don't need it very deep at all, just so you can put that on the low spots. And yeah, see, we made ourselves more work digging it in, that's for sure, but in the long run it looks so nice, it'll be worth it.
Okay, so
here we go.
this.
Hey, wait a minute, Meeghan,
What?
I got an idea. Let's put those pavers in there and level those.
You just told me we weren't going to do those.
This is an inspiration,
So now all of a sudden the pavers seem like a good idea.
Yeah, they do, because it could be kind of tricky to level this. Now, if we just level the pavers, we got it made here,
So now can we roll this
Yeah,
thing?
now we can roll it.
Okay.
This is heavy.
Heavy.
Oh, man.
Okay.
Okay.
Without taking off my finger.
Yeah, you gotta be careful here. All right, swing it around.
So now we get the topping.
Oh, boy. All
the
right,
old
here
pump.
we go.
Can you get that?
Here, let me get this like this. There we go. Boy, they don't make these light, do they?
No.
All right,
Which is
now.
good. It's not going anywhere.
No, that's right.
So get him in where the water's
Okay,
going to
now
go.
the pump goes down there in the water, and this just
cord.
kind of fits out there.
Okay.
And then I usually, what I try to do is to hide the cord by burying it or putting plants to cover it, whatever. We'll do that.
So let's go
Hey,
ahead
we're almost there,
and
eh?
fill her up.
There she goes.
Okay.
Oh boy, Meeghan, I'm excited. Let's see if it works. Oh, cool.
There she goes.
Hey, this is neat. Wow.
Isn't it cute? Just a
Oh,
little.
this is so cute.
And there's that little noise that we like.
Yeah, I love that sound. I really like this. It's really a neat looking fountain. It's got that wonderful sound, and that's really fun
Isn't it
too.
fun?
Yeah, this is really
it's the little
fun.
things in life.
Welcome back to Gardening with Ciscoe from Tadpole Haven Native Plants, where we are standing next to a beautiful flowering currant.
We match.
Yeah, you do match. Well, I'll tell you what, you can't have a better plant for attracting hummingbirds. Then they get delicious berries that no bird can resist later in the season, and you always know it's spring when you see one bloom.
No doubt about that. Another surefire sign of spring, you might be able to relate to this, is the urge to spread compost. But you got to be careful because not all compost is created equally. In fact, the folks at Hendrikus decided to test a few of the local brands. Here's what they found.
Well, honey, I have a project for you, okay? We get so many phone calls with people who want to know about compost. They want to know what we use, what we like, and where they can get compost. But I thought, I'm going to give you a project because you know a lot about this stuff. So I brought some compost for us to talk about. You game?
I'm game.
Cool.
Let's rock. Yeah.
So we got some great composts here.
Right.
What are the basics to know what a good compost is? What's the rules of thumb?
Well, I mean, if it's activated like this, it'll smell rich.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it'll smell like a good rich earth. It will not be identifiable as to what it was made of.
Okay, like here, I can't really tell.
Yeah, you can't really tell. It should have these scents, these colors, like a rich brown or towards
Right.
a black.
So dark brown and black,
Yeah.
smells good, can't identify what the
Pretty
individual
much,
ingredients
yeah,
are.
yeah.
Good.
I mean, of course,
Okay.
when you see something like this, you know, this is in the process. And what does it have in it?
Twigs.
Everything. It's got clippings,
Okay.
it got leaves, it's got everything in it. So, but once this is fully decomposed, you will not be able to tell where it came from.
So what's the biggest indicator of a not so good compost? Compost is not ready, meaning don't want to use it. What's the number one thing you'd say to look for?
Okay, so if you order it and it gets delivered and it goes on a pile, and that pile sits there for a day and you put your hand in there and it's hot.
Hot, okay, hot.
Very hot. That means it's still in the process. It's not done yet.
Makes total sense. So with this one, the fish compost, tell me why you like it. What's the best thing about this particular compost?
Well, because of the amino acids and the nitrogen and everything else, like this would be great on your gardens, like as a top dressing. Awesome.
Okay.
You know, awesome stuff. I think because of how it broke down, this would be awesome for your vegetable garden.
Okay.
And mixing into the soil.
And this is the manure compost.
Right.
Okay, so you'd like to see this mixed into the soil.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Excellent.
And that will really add to the aeration.
And what do you
of the
like
soil.
about manure composts?
Well, manure compost, if it's composted correctly, won't have any of the weed seeds, it won't have anything in it. You know, that
And we'll have the
you
nitrogen.
don't want. And you will have the nitrogen.
And then this is the green waste, which is
Yep.
nice and fine.
Yep, very.
All green waste. This is what I always consider the staple of compost. Everybody thinks about green waste compost, and that's what we homeowners and veggie gardeners put. This is what I make.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah. And
See, I brought mine out, which is
I
not fully
saw that.
compost, but I thought it would be a great addition. This is in process, and this I did with my home composting machine, which I love. So I have this, and what I did this year, which was great, once I had some of the compost at the bottom of my bin, I added worms. They don't tell you to add worms, but my worm said, "Can I jump in your compost bin?" Okay, so basically what we have are 3 different composts that we agree are all great composts.
Absolutely.
I can use them on my veggie gardens. I can use them any place on
In
the
the
property.
gardens. Yep.
Excellent.
They're all 3.
They're all USDA organic approved, and they're all local. So we win. They're
It's
great.
a win-win situation.
I'll take them all.
Sold.
Welcome back to Gardening with Ciscoe from Tadpole Haven Nursery, where they only sell native plants, and oh la la, did I just find a beauty.
You know, I saw you eyeing that baby.
This is really rare and hard to find. It's called Coryllis schooleri, gets 5 feet tall, Meeghan, and it's got this wonderful foliage, and it's got a fantastic flower.
How about that?
How'd you find that?
I went because everything seems to match what I'm wearing today, and I'm liking it. I like natives. I guess I'm just a native at heart, and I am.
I guess
Isn't
so.
that beautiful?
Oh, it is beautiful. Oh, I can't believe they've got this. It's so cool.
How many are you going to take with you today?
Quite a few,
Yeah,
I
I
have a
bet
feeling.
you are. Well, you know, some perennials are edible. We're hopping in the kitchen with Lynne right now. She's showing me how to cook up my absolute all-time favorite 3 different ways. We're talking asparagus. My favorite vegetable finally in season locally. We are talking asparagus. And here's what I love. You can do almost anything with asparagus.
Yes.
Besides just roasting it.
So exactly, and so what I thought would be fun today is we'll come up with 3 different ideas based on roasting it, right?
Right.
Because that's the simplest way. Little olive oil, little salt, little seasoning, whatever you like.
Right.
Okay, right. And the key is don't overcook them.
Oh, 'cause then the mushy is
Keep
no
them
good.
bright
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
jade green. And so a couple of ideas that we did: rolled them in a little prosciutto with goat cheese layered in there, cut them in half.
Yeah, a little salty.
Yep, and then a little chilled asparagus with an Asian vinaigrette dressing.
Okay.
And some little garnish
And
on
then
there.
this is what I'm
Yes.
seeing here. We have a vegetable, we have an appetizer, and then we have a meal, all with asparagus. How about that? It's a full meal deal. So what are we
Stick
going to do
with me.
here? Yeah.
Okay, so what we're going to do is make kind of a brunch dish where we're going to make some poached eggs.
Oh,
and then
is
we're
that what
gonna,
this little guy is?
Yes. Gadget central here.
Look at this.
It's an
How
egg poacher.
cute. Okay.
Yeah, so what you're going to do is just break those little guys into there. Now, while you're doing that, let me point out you can poach these in, a little
You're right.
boiling water with a little vinegar.
Right.
Or you can make basted eggs or over easy eggs or whatever you like.
However
the
you like
thing
your
I love
eggs.
about the asparagus spears is they make this nice, perfectly bright green foil to the nice soft cooked eggs.
Okay. Wow, I
Throw
have
that
never
little-
seen such a little
Isn't
thing.
that fun?
It's really cute.
Okay, just throw that lid back on.
Throw the lid back
And
on.
then we'll turn it on. And then while those are poaching, we will
Wow.
make our topping. I like to put something on top for a little bit of garnish.
Okay.
So we're going to do some toasted hazelnuts.
No.
So a little butter. Be careful,
Okay.
that pan might be a little bit hot. Vegan.
Okay.
Oh, that's not too bad. Okay. And I like the butter to get a little bit, caramelized
Caramelized,
too.
yeah, a little
exactly.
start to turn. Okay.
Yeah. And then we're gonna go ahead and add those hazelnuts, and they're just really coarsely chopped.
Yeah.
You could do pumpkin seeds or sunflower seeds or pine nuts,
Yeah,
whatever you love. Yeah.
Strikes your
Yeah.
fancy.
And then we're gonna put a little pinch of fresh thyme in there.
Okay.
No problem.
That's if we don't. Nobody saw that, right?
Nobody, not a problem at all. I'm gonna do this while
that.
you do that.
That's
all right,
good.
and then just a little pinch of salt.
So this is fancy salt.
It's a little flaked sel de mer, little French salt.
Love it.
We have a whole new salt program here at PCC.
Really?
We are
I never knew
carrying,
there was such a thing
we're
as a
carrying
salt
all
program.
kinds of boutique salts.
Oh, I love it.
I know. You should check it out. Some pepper, please.
Okay.
And you can see that those hazelnuts are already starting to get gorgeous golden.
Yeah, they are.
It doesn't take very
Know
long.
it.
Beautiful.
Oh, look
and
at
then
that.
my favorite part of this whole thing
Yeah.
is grab a half a lemon. Let me let that cool just a little bit. That's going to splatter all over the place. Now just give me a squeeze of half of that. Yeah.
A little bit more.
See that fresh little burst right at the end?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and that's going to be gorgeous
Oh,
over
my
the
Lord.
Yes, over the eggs and asparagus.
I think that means our little eggs are done.
Yeah, good. Turn that off.
Ooh, baby,
Isn't that the
look
cutest
at
little
those
thing?
are cute. Now, how the heck do you get them out of there?
Okay, well, first of all, you're going to season them up a little bit. So
Okay.
just put a little pinch of salt
Salt
and
and
pepper.
pepper. Oh, in
and
there.
a few little chives.
Okay.
Yeah. You can season them before they cook or afterwards, whichever you like. Doesn't matter. And then a few little chives. And then you're just going to take this spoon and
Oh, and
scoop
scoop
one
them
of those
out?
babies out and just set it right next to the asparagus.
Trust me to do that?
I trust you.
How come you have spoons that go with everything? This looks like an egg scooping spoon.
I plan ahead.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, just kind of spoon around there. Yep,
Oh,
there
I
you
see.
go. And you can see that it's still got a nice little runny yolk in the
And
center.
just put
So just
in-
set it right there. Not there. Just kidding. I love you. Anyway, so
Oh,
and then
my gosh.
we'll put our little hazelnuts across the top there. Oops.
And a few
And
more. Look
that isn't
at
that gorgeous? Yeah, little toast.
Oh my goodness,
Yeah.
that is heaven. Well, I'll see you later, guys. This smells so good. I think I'm going to take her away.
I'll
Thank
see
you,
ya.
Lynn. I love that. 3 gorgeous ways
Welcome spring.
to do asparagus.
No doubt about it.
Welcome back to Gardening with Ciscoe from Tadpole Haven Native Plants. And I know why they call it Tadpole Haven.
Why is that?
Check this out. Look,
What?
frog eggs.
What?
Do you believe it?
Oh my gosh,
Check
look
them out.
at
You
that.
can see the little tadpoles. Oh my gosh.
Look at all of them.
I bet they're getting ready to come out any minute.
Oh my goodness! So if you plant native plants, you get native critters.
Is that the coolest
I
thing
am
you've ever
loving
seen in
it.
your life?
I don't
Wow.
know if I've ever seen them in that stage. I've seen tadpoles before, but not that.
Yeah, that's neat.
Cool.
I tell you what, I'd be marveling at this all day, but we got to get back to work in the garden. You know me and my lilies, my all-time favorites.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes, though, I buy them and I kind of forget about them. But go ahead, plant them anyway. And now's the time. Let's take a look at these things. They're gorgeous, too. These are going to be
Great.
yellow electric.
Oh, aren't they going to
Loving
be
that.
pretty? Boy, oh
So
boy.
right now is a good time. When is it too late to get these in the ground?
So lily bulbs never go dormant.
Holy cow, I'll say. Take a look at these.
Oh, la la. See, that's why they're on sale. So, but hopefully we'll be able to put those in there and straighten them out. And, well, this is going to be a little risky. We'll have to cut that off because that one even broke.
Oh,
la, la.
my goodness.
So
Okay.
there are a few technical problems. So, you know what?
Let's get
We
some
may not
fertilizer.
Yeah, good. We may not see blooms this year.
Oh, really? If you
Yeah.
buy them and they're that far out. Look
Yeah,
at
it
those.
could be. I don't know whether they'll bloom, especially if I chop some of that off. But we'll definitely see blooms next year.
Now you're using bone meal like a ton this spring?
Yeah,
What's up
yeah.
with that? We
Well,
haven't.
Bulbs love bone meal.
Really?
Yeah, they like that extra calcium in the soil, and
How
there's
come
some
after
nitrogen
11
in
years
there.
this is the first I've heard of this?
I know. I just never used it that much. Now I'm into bone meal big time.
I'm glad to know that the things come and go.
Yeah, you're not kidding.
Okay, so you say we're going to need to trim this guy off?
Yeah, at least where it's damaged.
Okay.
And the other thing, Meeghan, is that they say plant them 2.5 times as deep as the diameter.
Right.
But
So that's, say, 3 inches, you'd need it 6 inches.
yep. But
So 8 inches.
you know what I found?
What?
The roots actually pull them down in the ground to where they want to be. So I play it safe. I'm going to plant them 4 inches.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, you
And this
can plant
guy's
'em too
bigger.
deep. Yeah, that one's bigger. So, but that, you know what? It won't matter.
Okay.
That's the nice thing about them pulling themselves down in the ground.
So we want this guy out of the ground or not?
Well,
Underneath?
I think it could be a little bit underground.
Okay.
Or maybe barely sticking out. And,
How's that?
I think that's perfect.
Okay.
And these, we're only putting in 2. I say do 3.
Uh-huh.
And I'm going to try and straighten this guy out so that it can, what I'll do, I'll put it on an angle.
Oh, there you go.
Because otherwise, I don't know how we're going to do that there.
So he does need to stick out.
A little bit, yeah.
Okay.
Because otherwise, I wonder what I just dug out there.
Okay, so if you have regular lilies, Asiatic lilies, it's all the same rule. You just
That's
need
right.
to get them in the ground like 4 inches or so, or about double the diameter, and then give them a little bit of fertilizer and water the heck out of them. Let
That's
them
right.
go.
And then if you're really lucky, you'll have humongous ones like Meeghan has at her house. They're like 40 feet tall.
I can't wait for summer. Okay, get out there and get your lilies in the ground now. You won't be sorry come summertime. Tell the truth, she bloomed, right?
Hey, did I plant it? Of course it bloomed.
Yes, you've never ever done anything
No,
wrong.
it couldn't happen.
Never. Hey, if you want to come and check out Tadpole Haven Native Plants, open by appointments, and also some Saturdays in April, we'll put a link at king5.com. Come get yourself a native plant. You never know. We might get a native species,
Yeah, you
too.
might find some tadpoles.
Yeah.
You never know. Oh, hey, hi, PJ.
PJ, the resident dog.
aren't
Thanks,
you a
everybody, for
cutie?
watching. We've had such a great time
Bye,
here.
everybody.
Have a good weekend.
See you later.